Well, the Roosters march up this premiership ladder with their biggest scalp of the 2025 season, knocking off the best defensive side in the competition, scoring 32 points along the way with what's a confident and committed team performance. James Graham, Cooper Cronk, Kevin Walters are here as Trent Robinson demanded only their highest quality tonight. That's what they got, and it puts them now 7th on this premiership ladder. Kevy, what made that an impressive display for you?
I think everyone's talking about their attack, but the Roosters' defence for mine to hold the Bulldogs to just the 2 tries, and one of those was an intercept. You know, they seem to be working really hard through the middle and now on their edges, in particular, just defending really well. And that's, we've seen the classic Roosters sides over the years. That's been their trait, is their defence. And then when you stick Sam Walker into that equation, then James Tedesco, you know, you've got a team there that can attack really well. And that was the case again tonight with 32 points against the best defensive team in the competition. It was a great performance.
I thought the Roosters forward pack had more intensity, more will, more fight today. They were led by Victor Radley, Nafahu White with a couple of tries. Angus Crichton had a great game. Fouquetti, Lenu. I thought they took it to the Bulldogs forwards, and you know, just at times the Bulldogs were a little bit of out of answers. They relied on the Matt Burton long kicks that got them out of trouble a couple of times, but they just couldn't go with the Roosters tonight. A strong message from the Roosters, but the Dogs have got some work to do. It happened at the back end of last year as well. That they had some disappointing through the middle performances against Manly and the Cowboys. They fixed those issues up, but they've got some work to do.
Yeah, I think that's the best defensive performance from the Roosters all year. I think 1 to 17 all contribute to a good defensive performance. And I think a telling part of the way the Roosters played was the starting of Spencer Lenu in the game, off the kickoff, and just the physical power game that Roosters played through the middle. Like, the Dogs are a really good team, but if there's one chink in their armour, it's their small forward pack. And I think the Roosters just went Nafahu White, Lindsay Collins, Spencer Lenu, and just kept going. And they won the field position battle. And this guy on your screen, Sam Walker, had some tricks when it came to control and kicking. But I think it was set up from the forward pack. I think they dominate both sides of the ball. And that's one of the better performances from the Roosters this year.
But with Sam Walker in that side, Kevin, the confidence that he appears to have given this team off the back of that forward pack display, he's just that X factor that can do all sorts of damage come this final series.
Well, it's not really new to the Roosters either. The back end of last year when he got injured, they sort of fell away a bit through the finals, but without him, when he injured his knee, and he's back again. I think 6 weeks now he's been back into the side, and but again, I agree with the other 2 lads here about the Roosters forward pack. Big, strong, they're physical, and they dominated tonight, which enabled Walker the ability to do what he does. That's what happens when you've got a good forward pack.
He is without doubt a KFC FLG MVP, and his coach spoke this week about how he's used his whole year off to, you know, pick apart teams and prepare for the big moments. It would have been excruciating for him to be watching on this season as the team was sort of struggling to build momentum, but as soon as he's come back, he's been able to really fill that void and take them to the next level. Yeah,
well, I'm even just looking at the performance of a Victor Radley today, and what knowing your role because you've got Sam Walker in the team, he takes care of all that creative element of the game, and we know a lot of forwards like to ball play, but how simple it is if you're in that forward pack for the Sydney Roosters. Let's just go out there, carry hard, bring line speed, win the middle, and we know we've got this creative master who's going to, you know, even if there's nothing doing by the end of the play, the go-to is the kick to Tupou, and it works time and time again.
He's got flashes of brilliance, Sam Walker. When there is a disjointed defensive line, he can come up with tricks that not too many halfbacks his age can. But the most impressive part from his performance this year was his control. I thought he ran the ball, was threatening, and even the last try then, he didn't go for the big play. He just played his role, condensed the Bulldogs' defence and allowed James Tedesco to set up the try for Daniel Tupou. And the fact that he just kept going to Tupou is a sign of his development, because when you're a halfback, you find that Tuala's had some issues defensively early on. Instead of going away, he just kept going back. He got nervous and nervous as the game went on, and Daniel Tupou ended up scoring 3 tries, and that's a credit to Sam Walker, knowing that the opposition, there's a crack, and he didn't go to the other side. He just kept going to it.
And he is our teammate assist of the day, brought to you by, It's the smart plays of the day brought to you by Complete Home Filtration, and it is this combination on that left edge, the Walker and Tupou connection, a hat trick for the ever reliable Roosters winger.
It's a very smart play of the day, isn't it, Lara? And they went to the well continuously. And with the new rule, I'm not going to say the new rules, but now with the catch rules that these wingers have to abide by in centres, I mean, he's a great asset, Tupou, on that wing, but just for the final play, just get the ball in the air in the right position. It's not always easy, Cooper, is it, to get that kick right? Practice and practice and practice, but if they can land it in the right spot, there's normally a try on the back of it. So it's a great asset for the Roosters to have.
That's the job of any kicker in the game, is put in the best possible position for your outside backs to come down with the ball. And in the early stages, Tuala had a game plan to shepherd Daniel Tupou off. He wanted to block him and then try and catch the ball with space. So you knew he was nervous early on. Tupou got the first. They kept going back there. And by the end of it, his third one, he ended up just letting Daniel Tupou catch the ball and then tried to tackle him, and Tupou ran over the top. So it's a bit like Coates last night up against Brighton To'o. If you have these athletics outside backs and you're a half, you can win a game off just the ability to put the ball in the right spot. Now, we're talking centimetre perfect kicks here, and they got it mostly right tonight.
Obviously, you want to increase the kick pressure on Sam Walker, but the Bulldogs forward were losing that battle in the middle. But, you know, usually when you recognise a mismatch like this, you come up with a plan. I can't imagine Tuala just adapting on the fly and just thinking that he was going to do what you said, Coops, and sort of back in and try and make things awkward. I think that was arguably pre-planned. And you made a really good point back in the green room about maybe potentially if this game is replayed in September and that is the matchup on the wing, then maybe Stephen Crichton, we saw him play as a second fullback in attack. But would it be better for the Bulldogs to go big man on big man, Tupou against Crichton, to give him more of a chance of competing in that contest? Because it was clear Tuala just didn't have the height at all to match Daniel Tupou.
Yeah, potentially, but you just can't let someone like Daniel Tupou be one out and catching the ball close to the try line. That last try, or his second one, he powered over the top and Tuala had no chance. So there's no doubt if you're coming up against Coates, Tupou, Nwanga Tuasi, these athletic outside backs, you're going to have a plan to stop them from scoring tries, because the game says you cannot tackle them in the air. Now you're either going to have to catch the ball one-on-one or at least let them catch it and just swarm in and do not let that ball get to the ground.
That's what Penrith did last year to
the grand final.
In the grand final.